A musical version of Mean Girls, shown in theaters 20 years after the original film, gives the 2004 classic a fresh perspective and modifies the resolution. With 12 Tony Award nominations, Mean Girls became the most nominated musical of that season after being first adapted for the Broadway stage in 2017. Positive reviews for the Mean Girls musical film have resulted from the entertaining musical sequences, well-liked source material, and outstanding performances. Even though there have been some changes made to the three versions of Mean Girls, this accurate adaptation still has many of the same jokes that still make you laugh aloud even after 20 years. Mean Girls was originally scheduled to be distributed exclusively on Paramount Plus for streaming, but it was instead released in theaters. Mean Girls is currently showing in theaters, and the soundtrack is accessible on all major music streaming services. Hopefully, an announcement on the streaming date will come shortly. Using recent social media trends and advancements, Mean Girls modernizes both the 2004 film and the 2017 stage show, making it ultimately just as nostalgic as the original. Despite the tagline, "Not Your Mother's Mean Girls," Mean Girls 2024 is a musical film that appeals to a wide range of viewers. The Spring Fling dance serves as the setting for the pivotal scene in both Mean Girls 2004 and Mean Girls 2024. In the musical film, Katie apologized to Regina in a private conversation before the winner of Spring Fling Queen was revealed, and Regina, who was high on painkillers, forgave her old friend. It's a lovely redemptive scene that wasn't in the movie from 2004. In Mean Girls, Katie wins the title of Spring Fling Queen despite facing opposition from other competitors. While Karen gets nominated with her fellow plastics in the show, Damien sneaked Janice into the group of nominees in the film version. Janice's sexual orientation was a significant alteration to her character in Mean Girls. In the 2024 film, Janice is proud of her identity and goes to the Spring Fling alone, rather than going with her gay best friend Damien. In the original film, Janice was ridiculed after Regina spread a probably untrue rumor that she was a lesbian. Janice is transformed from a queer-coded character to a canon lesbian in Mean Girls 2024. This also meant that, unlike in the original epilogue, which was also absent from the new Mean Girls conclusion, Janice and Kevin never shared a kiss at the end. An epilogue recounted by Katie in the first Mean Girls movie described what transpired to the girls following the Spring Fling and during their last year of high school. Karen became a weather person, Gretchen joined a new clique, Regina joined the lacrosse team as a way to vent her anger, and Katie started dating Aaron. Even though a bunch of young girls appeared prepared to take over as the next generation of junior plastics, Katie stated that at last, girl world was at peace. Viewers of the Mean Girls musical can only imagine as to what happened to Katie and the plastics after the events of the film without this epilogue. Karen most likely didn't become a weather person because she didn't have her ESPN plotline, but the other character possibilities for the film musical are still conceivable. The last scenes in the credits featured everyone having a good time at the Spring Fling dance, implying that following the events of Mean Girls 2024, they were all able to rekindle their friendship or at the very least keep it going. Lindsay Lohan made an unexpected appearance as the host of the high school mathletes state championship in Mean Girls. Katie avoided the group at first because she was afraid of what it would do to her social standing, but toward the end of the movie, she joined the mathletes in order to get additional credit. She first has a humorous chat with Lohan's unidentified character before delivering her well-known phrase, "The limit does not exist." After her experience with the plastics, Katie decided she had had enough and no longer wanted to compete with other girls. She is eventually reminded by Lohan's host persona that it is, in fact, a competition, which she wins for North Shore. Though fleeting, the appearance completes the circle in Katie's story by enabling interaction between the old and new Katie. While Lohan may not have played the same role as Tina Fey, Ms. Norbury, or Tim Meadows, Principal Duval, her brief appearance in the movie is a charming homage to 2004's Mean Girls and her parts in the iconic picture. A post-credit scene for Mean Girls 2024 was seen in the teaser earlier, so it was probably shot when Katie first visited Regina's home. As Karen and Regina approach the camera, the plastics leader announces, "You're next. If we made all these changes, you could be incredibly attractive." Although it wouldn't fit with the film's theme, the line "You're next" from the Mean Girls post-credit sequence could be seen as a hint for a sequel. The direct approach is perhaps more of a playful technique to address the audience and a cautionary tale about how anyone may turn into a plastic. Mean Girls 2, a standalone TV film, was the follow-up to the 2011 release of Mean Girls. It was situated in North Shore High and had a similar premise, with a new girl moving to the school and meeting the Plastics, which inspired her to join the Anti-Plastics, her own clique. It was not well received and was thought to be an unneeded follow-up that didn't measure up to the first one. Mean Girls is a self-contained plot, so a sequel to the musical film is also unnecessary. In the original Mean Girls movie, Caddy's voiceover summarized the main lesson. Call someone stupid doesn't make you any smarter. In the Mean Girls movie musical, Ms. Norbury was given the line during the assembly sequence, and Janice and Damien recited it in the movie's epilogue. The 2024 adaptation offered another viewpoint on the well-known tale, with Janice and Damien narrating instead of Katie, who did so in the original film. They came back after the spring fling to give the story's lesson. Even though Janice was one of Mean Girls' most cruel characters, the last scene showed that she had also grown up. Whether someone was mean to you first or not, there is no benefit to being mean to them. Rather, it only makes you like them, as demonstrated by Caddy's transformation into plastic and her subsequent judgmental behavior. They aren't your true pals if you have to change into someone you're not to win their approval. The true lesson of Mean Girls is that everyone deserves to be treated with compassion, so it's best to just do that.